Hey, it's Chris Angel, and in this video, I want to show you how to use your title company and your MLS to research your farms in order to pick the best farm. So there's really three different searches that we need to do. The first two are going to be with your title company, and the third is going to be a map search in your MLS. Okay, so let me break this down for you. The first search we're looking for is simply to find how many owner-occupied homes, right? So homes with people living in them that own the house. How many of those are in a certain perimeter? So you're going to go to your title company and say, from this street to this street to this street to this street, how many single family owner occupied homes are there, right? And what we're looking for is around 1,000 homes, owner occupied. Call it owner occ. Okay. Now, if you give them that search, you say, hey, this is sort of the area I'd like, this street to this street to this street to this street, or this sort of area to this area to this area, and they come back with 2,000 homes, I want you to tighten that up. So bring in the radius a little bit more, tighten up that perimeter, okay, until you get to roughly 1,000 homes. Now, it could be 800, it could be 1,200, but an ideal size, I think, a manageable size is between 800 and 1,200, okay? So that's the first title search. Now, the second title search, once they've done that, tell them to keep it open, right? Because you want to go back into that perimeter now and do a second search for how many homeowners that live in this perimeter, right? How many of the 1,000 bought 5+ years ago? So if there's 1,000, we're looking for a bigger percentage of those to have been there 5+ years. Why? Because National Association of Realtors says that people move on average every 5 to 7 years. So if they've been there 5+ years, they're more likely getting the 7-year itch than if they had just moved in last year or 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Okay. Now you can play with this number. If you would prefer to say like 7+ years, great. If you know that your community doesn't move as often, then adjust the numbers. But the point is, in the second search with your title company, you're going into the same perimeter, but this time you're adding a date range. You're saying 5+ years. So who bought in this area 5+ years ago? And the higher the percentage, right? If out of 1,000, 500 bought 5+ years ago, that means half of your farm is warming up to the 7-year itch. Now, not everybody's going to move, but that's a good percentage compared to a second farm, right, that only had, say, 50 people that have bought in the last 5 years, or 5 years and longer ago, excuse me. You can see that this would have more potential sellers than this farm, and that's what we're looking for. All right, the third search is now going to be with your MLS. So thank you, title company. Actually, the other thing is, I'd say you want to do this 3 or 4 times with your title company to compare multiple farms, okay? So the third search is a MLS map search, and you want to, as best as possible, retrace your perimeter you gave your title company in a map search in your MLS. And now what we're looking for is turnover. And what you want to do is sold. That's the status in your MLS search, sold, last 12 months. Okay? So we're basically just looking for, out of 1,000 homes, how many sold in the last 12 months. That gives us a sense of turnover. You can't figure turnover out without getting how many single family homes total there are, and your MLS won't tell you that. So to get turnover, meaning how many people have moved into this neighborhood and moved out of this neighborhood, you got to get this number first, and in order to find turnover, you then go do a sold last 12 months in that same perimeter. Now, I would suggest the higher the turnover, the better, most likely. I mean, I don't know anything that's 90% turnover, but if you're looking at, I'd say, greater than 10% turnover, then you're starting to look healthy, right? And this is why you want to compare 3 to 4 farms, because if you can stack the deck in your favor where there's a lot more homeowners who've been there 5+ years, and you have a decent amount of turnover, then that's putting aces up your sleeve, right? That's getting the deck stacked in your favor. So this is the 3-step search process that I recommend you use old school, right, to figure out how many homes are in your farm plus what the turnover is. Now, The last thing I'd say is they have new technology now. SmartZip, for example, is a company that does predictive analytics. It's very similar to this, right? But they're actually using big data to figure out who's going to be most likely to sell. If you use their service, there's a fee for that, right? And so this is old school. This doesn't cost anything. You just need a good relationship with a title rep or a title company to get the first two done. But there are lots of lots of searches that can be done for you to start to figure out where do you want to spend your time and money. All right, I hope this helps. And this is the kind of stuff that we're covering in smart farming. And this is where it all starts, right? Is picking the best farm for your effort. All right, gang, I'll see you in another video.